Welcome back. It's your boy, Gackt Cognac, back with another video. So this is gonna be an interesting video, something original. I'm gonna call this series a trip down memory games. So, give you a little preface. I got my Xbox One right here. I haven't gotten the Series X yet, but eventually I will. But the greatest thing about like Xbox, ever since like the 360 and all that stuff, was when they implemented the achievement system, right? So that was a great way to like track all the games you played. So it was pretty cool because like just recently, like I used to just like to go back and look at some of the games I played from the past and be like, oh, I remember that game. You know, that game came out at this time, or I did this during that time. So like it's kind of like I embed a lot of my memories into some of these games, and you know Microsoft did a really good job at just saving all that progress. I know like now PlayStation got the trophies and all that stuff, but it took them forever before they even got the trophies. So like a lot of like the achievements I got from back in the days was like, you know, early on before they even tracked a lot of games and stuff like that for PlayStation. So we're gonna move over here to you see, Gackt Cognac Xbox profile, and then you can scroll down and see all the games I play. Like look at this, I got like 155,000, you know, freaking achievements. So like I played a lot of games back then, and back in the days, like I did a lot of like achievement hunting. So like I actually tried to go for a bunch of the achievements in the games. So it made me kind of like a completionist. Now, I mean, I still do it, but not as much. Like, I won't do it to some crazy extent. I'm not going to put like 1,000 hours into a game just to get an achievement because, you know, I ain't got time for that. So what we're going to just do is like scroll down and look at all the games I played and tell you guys like, you know, just moments in my life, what happened in those games, experience. So that's a lot of games to go through. So I'll probably just go through like a set amount. And if you guys enjoy stuff like this, you know, I'll continue doing more of them. So just quite recently, that kind of motivated me to do this was like some reason Xbox, they kind of glitched out. So people's like achievements started going missing, man. It was like I was like, fuck, you know. Like there's hella games missing, like especially my 360 library, and that was like my glory years of gaming to me. And finally, after like a month or so, they popped back up. But who knows, man? You never know if you know they might delete that shit permanently. You never know, man. So I figured like I'd do this kind of just preserve like all the games that I played and you know keep the memories, man. So sit back and enjoy as I go through. So I go all the way down the line. Now ever since they restored my achievements, man, it's not really in order. So most of it is, but a lot of these like games, they're not in the order that I played, and generally like I pick up a game and play it, I don't really go back to it because that's how I log my freaking progress in life. So I don't know, it's kind of like mixed up but still kind of in order. Like you can tell these are like 2008 2010 days. For me, I actually got my Xbox 360 from my cousin. Like he bought it for me as like a birthday gift, like maybe about a year later after it came out. So he bought me the system, you know, and was like, hey, just give me your OG Xbox. Like I'll buy you the freaking console. This and that. And sure enough, he did. That was a big thing because like, you know, during that time, what? It was like $400 or something like that? Was it $400 or $450 for an Xbox 360? It was quite expensive, man. So yeah, he got me one of those. And it was just like a basic white OG fat Xbox, red ring of death type. So I got that, had no games. He was like, you gotta take care of the games because you know I'm ready dropping like $5 on your shit real quick. So after that, like I remember my homeboy, he had a 360 like way early. Like probably not close to launch date, but a little later than that. And he had a few games, so he let me borrow 3 games. It was Dynasty Warriors, 5 Empires right here. I wasn't really feeling the game, so I didn't really play it. So you look back, it doesn't even got a date when I freaking like logged this in when I got this 20-point achievement, because you know this is back in like '07, man. I didn't even have Xbox Live at the time, so that's not clocked in. But yeah, Healing Ball Dead or Alive, so I played the shit out of that. And then I think the third game I'd say was Fight Night, so we played the fuck out of that too. But like I said, it's not in order, and some of the games I actually did play, like Fight Night, you're gonna pick that up every once in a while. Let's move on to the next for the sake of time, because I don't know how long I'm gonna do this until I move on. Dark Sector, man. Like I talked about this on a previous video, but this was a cool ass game. Look, I got this around April 2008, because I remember the game came out around like March or April, right? And so I was still working at Game Crazy at the time. I remember this game came in, and then finally somebody had beat it and traded it in or something like that. So you know, when it comes like used games, you could borrow the games for like 5 days or something like that. So you know, I was like, let me check this game out, and I found that Dark Sector was an enjoyable game, man. It played a lot like Gears of War. Like the controls and everything was like Gears of War, except you had like different like weapons. Like your main weapon is like this glaive, because you kind of turn into this I don't know, as you progress, like you got this disease and you kind of turn into this metallic suit. I think I heard Warframe is like the sequel to Dark Sector, so it's kind of interesting. At least a spiritual sequel. But anyways, so it was a cool game. It wasn't the greatest, but it was decent, man, for the time, because this is really early on. So that's kind of mixed up. Like Prince of Persia came out in '09, I think, right? So I played a lot of games before '09, but for some reason this is all the way down here. But I had already left Game Crazy like late '08. So when this game came out, what was it? Yeah, early '09, or maybe even '08, late '08 to early '09. So one of the girls that worked at Game Crazy, like she got hired later on after I left. It's like she hella recommended this game. So I actually, like, you know, I checked it out. I freaking played it. Well, actually during that time, like I did a lot of cool stuff. You know, I would get the games and I would like play them and I would reseal them back and return them. So like that's how I played a lot of my games back then, because I knew the people at Game Crazy. So I would just like buy the games, refund it back, because I would steal it back and just play for free for like a solid couple years or so. Anyways, Prince of Persia was tight. It was very different from the other Prince of Persia games that came out prior to that. But I had fun with it. It was actually like one of my first entries, because it was like the first Prince of Persia that I beat. Sands of Time, like I played that, but this was cool shit. They made it a lot like Assassin's Creed, this one, except it was like cell shaded, but the interactions between like this character and the princess was hilarious, man.
We have to get out of here.
Fine, run, but you're not going to get very far.
Oh, I was on my way home. I had more gold than you could. I'd have had wine, women. I'd have had carpets this thick. Now I'm stuck with an angry god and a crazy woman.
So when they made the movie very similar to like this freaking game. Even though the movie kind of sucked, and not a lot of people liked it, but yeah, it was a Disney movie. Anyways, Bullet Witch, man, I mock this game all the time, even though I beat the fuck out of it. I mean, I got 1,000 for other game too. I didn't want to pay for the what's it called? I didn't want to pay for the DLC, so I just left it at 1,000. Like I should go back and just beat all the freaking DLC. But anyways, that's some good replay value. But let me go back. Bullet Witch, man, this game was like I played, I think, after I left GameStop, because 2009 I was at GameStop. Or let's see. Well, I played some of it, huh? 2008. Okay, maybe I left Game Crazy and then I was playing. I thought I was playing when I was at GameStop. I don't know. This game is a horrible game. It was one of like the first like almost launch titles, man. And I had like, remember I bought this game because it looked tight. When I went to Hong Kong, it was a bootleg, man. And I brought it back, like, you know, I couldn't find a way to mod the Xbox at the time, so I just had the bootleg sitting there forever. But later on, I think it was Game Crazy, the game dropped down to like I don't know, 10 or 15 bucks, so I bought it. And I don't know, I had nothing else to play, so I ended up just playing that instead. Fuck, I lost my place. So, I don't know, man. I don't recommend this Bullet Witch game. This game is garbage. And it requires you to beat the game on every difficulty, including the freaking, like, Infernal difficulty. And the game is just broken as fuck. But, like, I persevered myself to the time because I was, like, competing with other folks trying to get achievements and shit. But this game was garbage, man. Like, I don't recommend it. It's like, I would just play it just to fucking see how ridiculous it is. But other than that, the game was garbage, man. It was a good idea, but it was garbage. I think it was Cavia that made this game. And Cavia is a hit or miss. Like, Cavia makes, like, decent games sometimes. But a lot of times, they make shitty games. Now, Alone in the Dark, this was after I left Game Crazy as well. So this should be in 08. Okay, yeah, this is like right after I left Game Crazy, man. So I actually like forced myself to play this game as well. Because, you know, I like me some survival horror games, man. So I actually did everything to it. I thought, like, man, it was a very clunky game, man. But I thought, like, man, if the game was more polished, it could have been good, you know. I feel like this game couldn't do, or how would I say this? Like, Alan Wake did what this game couldn't do. Because the two games are very similar, man. It's different but similar in terms of, like, gameplay and shit. It's, like, episodic. You gotta collect stuff and solve random things, you know, to get through certain areas. But this game was just really shitty. But Alan Wake, if you were to compare those two games, is what Alone in the Dark couldn't do. That's all I can really say about it. They made, like, Infernal for PS3. I guess it's kind of a rare game now. It's supposed to, like, fix a lot of, like, stuff in the game, but the game just, you know, ain't really solid for Alone in the Dark game. You know, it was kind of like more of like open world episodic game, but it was super clunky, man. It was weird, but they tried, man. And now they're supposed to be making another Alone in the Dark game, so I don't know. Condemned, man. This game always irks me because, like, this is one of the, like, only games that doesn't have 1,000 achievement points. But this is, like, almost a launch title. Like, I got this game, like, sealed still at home. But I remember this was a game what I checked out while I was at GameStop. Yeah. I got hired around January 2009. So I don't know, I just wanted to play Condemned, man. Like, I always hear a good-ass game. It's a nice horror game, so I wanted to play it, man. And guess what? I did. And I beat it on all the difficulties. I collected all the crows and shit. And the game was, for its time, man, like, it was a scary game. It was probably one of the scariest during its time that I played. Condemned was a solid game. Part 2 I never played, but I heard, like, I don't know. I heard it wasn't as good. Mixed reviews and stuff, so I never got to playing it. But Condemned it had a good story, number one. And the game was almost like a scary ass CSI game, you know? Except there's a plot twist to it, and, you know, it has everything that, like, a really good, like, horror type of mystery horror type of, like, story would have. So that was good, man. It was a good game. If you guys never checked out Condemned, checked it out if you guys like survival horror games. It's definitely better than this piece of shit. Anyways, Mirror's Edge was another game I checked out. Yeah, see, it's like different timing, but this is 2008, so I had played this game before. Look, this is so weird, man. Like, now it's jumping all my achievements all around. What the fuck is going on? Like, it's hella weird, man. See, it's not in order anymore. You see that? Freaking, I don't know what to say, man. I don't know, maybe it's going back to the order that it should be now. But anyways, we'll keep going. Mirror's Edge was cool, man. I felt like if you ever played the game Breakdown, like, Breakdown was like the predecessor to Mirror's Edge because it played very similar. Because, like, you got to see everything in a first-person view. At the same time, like, you know, when you throw a punch or a kick, like, you actually, your camera, like, bends to the side or like moves in a way where like a first person actually looks like. So Mirror's Edge was cool, man. Those are in times like a lot of games came out. It was like parkour and stuff like Assassin's Creed type of stuff. But this gave it like a different notion. I do have part 2. I never got to play it. I always wanted to jump on that. But I heard it wasn't as polished as Mirror's Edge 1. But I beat the hell out of this game, man. I couldn't do the challenge mode stuff because it was just pain in the ass. But I beat it. And then there was just a line of achievements I didn't want to do. So I just left it at 825 points. But Mirror's Edge was cool, man. It was a cool game. Had a lot of colors and stuff to it though. Like, which was kind of like, I don't know, interesting. But it was cool. Fable 2. This had to be 08, right? 09. Early. It's alright. I must have checked this out after I beat Condemn. So Fable, of course, you had to play Fable, man. Now, unfortunately, I never got to beat Fable 1. But Fable 2, like, did a lot of things that people wanted in Fable 1. And just kept, like, getting better. So, you know, they had a bunch of, like, they had co-op mode, I think, in there. And then they had more choices in the game that would affect, like, you know, what you would do. If you would become good or bad, this and that. But I beat it, man. It was fun. It was a cool game. Let's see. Then I started really collecting achievement points. So TMNT was one of those games I checked out because all you had to do is beat the game. It wasn't a really good game, but like I said, all you had to do is beat the game. It was around that 2009, early GameStop days. Beat that shit. Easy thou. So if you're trying to get easiest 1,000 on your achievement points, man, you play TMNT. Lost Odyssey, man. I picked up a lot of the RPG games when I was working at the game stores because Xbox has a very small handful of RPG games. But this game I was playing after I left Game Crazy. So as you see right here, 8/11/2008, around that time. And that's a long ass time. Lost Odyssey has to be probably one of the best RPGs on 360 in my opinion. Plays very similar to like a Final Fantasy type of storyline, and you know the characters were they were cool as hell, man. Like you play as immortals in this game. At the same time, like they technically could still die, but when they die, like they revive, man. So if you play as immortal characters, when you die, you revive. It's pretty interesting. But you know, it has like one of those amnesia type of stories. So you kind of figure out what the hell happened and shit. But as you get through the game, you find out, oh, that's what happened. But it had a really good storyline. The battle system was very traditional. And this was made by Miss Walker Studios, where they were supposed to make like 3 different games for, you know, Xbox 360. Because during the time, like, you know, they felt like, oh man, they want to get like Xbox into the market of the Japanese market, actually. So like they kind of hired like one of the Final Fantasy guys or whatever to like try to make some good RPGs, so people would buy some 360 because 360 was like, it sold very poorly in Japan. So anyways, Lost Odyssey was one of the first ones that came out, and I think, you know, Blue Dragon and what was the other one? I don't remember. I don't think they even made the other one, but I forget. Anyways, Lost Odyssey was a 4-disc game. And back in the days, like, we used to always count, like, oh, man, it has that many discs, like, especially for PlayStation days. Like, oh, this gotta be good if it has that many discs. Like, they put a lot of content in. And sure enough, they put a lot of content in this game, man. And the battle system was interesting. Like, they did what's the recent games that came out where, like, you know, you had to press the button at the right time in order to get, like, critical hit type stuff. So, you know, they was one of the first to, like, implement that type of battle system. And it was cool, man. It was cool. So later on, when you get like the good magic and stuff like that in this game, like you just dominate this fucking game. But when you get to like the challenge bosses, man, fuck, it took me forever to beat. But I did everything in this game, man. I basically almost 100% this game. But I don't think I did all the DLC and all that stuff. So good enough. At that time, I didn't care if I got the 100%. I was like, if I got 1,000, I was cool. Like, it looked better. Because back in the days, you don't see the percentage on the achievement points. And then I was trying to get into, like, some of the other RPG games. But I was just in and out of life. Like, I couldn't really sit down and play anymore. But this was like afterwards. Well, look, 9-2. I was gonna start on another RPG game, and I was like, all right, Infinite Undiscovery. Let me start with that, right? Look, now I got jumbled up again. But I don't know. I thought the game was cool from how I was playing it. It felt like almost like a Star Ocean. Like at least the graphics and all that looks very similar. But I don't know. I just some reason I stopped playing it. Like I enjoyed it, but I stopped playing it. So I don't know. Maybe one day I will go and complete this game. Anyways, this game should be around the GameStop days. Yep, 09. This game, you can get all the achievements in 30 seconds. So I didn't even beat the game. I just checked it out at GameStop because all you had to do is get like a 58 combo or something like that, and then you would have 1,000 points. So I did that just to get the easy 1,000, man. The Bourne Conspiracy. This was an easy 1,000. Like all you had to do is just beat the game and do a couple things. It was alright. I mean, it was like, I don't know, it's like a Metal Gear Solid beat 'em up game if you ask me. But it's like a spy game. It was cool. It's based off the Jason Bourne series. Your character isn't Matt Damon though, but you kind of just roll through, you know, sneaking through the levels. Sometimes there's gunplay, this and that, and you just beat the game. Blah blah blah. I don't even remember the storyline like that, but it was alright. Just, you know, a time killer. Now you already know I like Warriors games. This one, I think, you know, I was playing this with the homies, and then we got only so far, and then I ended up, instead of beating the whole thing, I just gave this game to one of the homies back then for his birthday, because him and his brothers always play Warriors games too. So I never got to like beat it how I wanted to beat it, but I don't know. I don't even know if I have a copy nowadays. So, you know, it's a birthday gift. You know, you do, sometimes you do some good shit for people, right? Some part, like I was pretty good about like, you know, doing people right on birthdays and shit. These motherfuckers, ungrateful motherfuckers, man. You hook motherfuckers up, man. They don't give a fuck afterwards, man. They don't give a fuck about like the 1% bad shit you did to them. Fuck people, man. Fuck all of them. Anyways, you know, that was during those early days in life. You figure that out later on. Burst Limit, I didn't really care for the games, but I just got it because like we fucking took these games and we played the fuck out of it at like the homie's house. So I had this game around the time I got the Warriors Orochi 2. Grid was another game I got during the time. Oh, I wanted to play this because this game looked really good, and it was, man, Grid was actually a solid ass racing game. You know, Codemasters, they just make good ass games. So I ended up letting one of the other homies borrow this shit. I never heard from his ass again, so I got a copy again later on in life, but it is what it is. Too Human, man. This game was a piece of shit. You know, they hyped the fuck out of this game because this was like one of the last games Silicon Knights made. And if y'all didn't know, like Silicon Knights was like, they made solid games. They were part of like Legacy of Kain series and all that stuff. So like when they hyped the shit out of this game, man, you know, they were like, this game's gonna be the best. And it came out, it was a glitchy ass game. It was garbage, man. I still beat the fuck out of it. I can't believe that I did. You know, they almost made like an MMO game, but it was a one-player game. Or it might be a co-op game, I don't remember. I think it is co-op. But they kind of made it like an MMO game. We could like upgrade and level up and shit like that. But the game was just garbage, man. I feel like there was just the same fucking 5 enemies in this game. It was whack. I think this game bankrupted their asses. That's what happened. And this game became free like 15 years later on Xbox. Like, what? Why? You know? Funny, man. Anyways, during this time, whew, this is probably the best game of 08 for me. I remember I checked this game out. I had the chance to get this game, you know, like when it came out with the collector's box, but I didn't. Now I'm kicking myself. I thought I had beaten this game 100%, but I didn't because it requires like a few playthroughs, and you know, there's like weapon-based kill things you need to do in the game. So like, I guess I didn't have the patience to go run through it again because I beat it like 2 or 3 times. So I did that and returned it. But during the time, like, if y'all watching my live stream, man, Dead Space was just a good ass game. It came out like out of the radar, like nobody promoted it, nothing like that. And you know, just to me, it's one of the top 10 like best horror games I've played. Like such a good game, man. Need I say more? So I'm looking forward to playing the remake, man, or the remaster, whatever you want to call it. Like, and I'm hoping it's gonna pan out right because this game was legendary. Great game. Like I said, best game of '08 for me. And after that, Tomb Raider Underworld. I think they played this. Yeah, I played this after I beat it. You know, Tomb Raider Underworld for a lot was not like the best for them. Like a lot of people didn't like it because it was kind of different from like Tomb Raider Legend and the formula, the format. But I don't know. I thought it was all right. It wasn't too bad. They made her character very like close to like, they try to make them look more human. So she kind of looked like Angelina Jolie in a certain point in this game. But I beat it anyways. It was a pain in the ass, but I beat it. It was all right. It wasn't too bad. Shoot. Let's see. But I do like the way they changed it up when it comes to like the last like 3 Tomb Raider games that came out. So, but yeah, this one's a hit or miss for a lot of people. Call of Duty 2. Like Modern Warfare is up there. But like after I played like Modern Warfare, I went back and played all the other Call of Duty. So, you know, it's just easy achievements. You just beat the game on veteran and you'll get it. It's pretty easy. There's a couple areas where you just fucking, you know how in Call of Duty when you play the hardest mode, the grenades come at you like from all sides. So like it's a hit or miss whether you could fucking run through the level or not. It's just all luck based at that point. So yeah, I had to go through a lot of fucking grenades and shit. But you beat it. You kind of learn about World War and all that shit. Yeah. Look, now Tomb Raider is in front of me. Like, man, shit's all messed up. Let me just refresh this shit. Get it back into order or whatever. See, this is all fucked up, man. Look at this shit. This is all fucked up. I'm trying to refresh it so I can get it back to where it was. Maybe I just won't click into these and just scroll through. Midnight Club. This was around Game Crazy days. I like this game, man. I just didn't go through the whole thing because it was long. But I liked it. Like, I remember like saying, oh, Midnight Club LA, dude, like they did a good ass job mapping out how LA really looked. So it was tight. I liked it. Call of Duty World at War is like one of my favorites. Man, amongst like most of the Call of Duties, World at War was fucking great. This came out, yeah, the year after Modern Warfare, so they had a lot to, you know, upgrade on and go by. But, you know, they already had the engine all built. When they made this game, this was like, man, this is a very solid World War II game where, you know, it really talked about the Japanese a lot more and stuff like that. I like some of the weapons are garbage, but a lot of weapons are pretty interesting in the game. And when they came out with the zombie Nazis, oh man, me and my cousins and shit, we played the fuck out of that shit. That was still one of the best zombie Nazis. The ones that came later on, they just did too much. But World at War was solid, man. We didn't even think Treyarch was gonna do as good as what Infinity Ward did. They came through with this. So I had to pair like Modern Warfare and World at War is like the best ones to this day still. Love that game. I don't see why they don't remake that one compared to like all the other shit they're doing. That was a great game, man. Anyways, now it's all jumbled up. Operation Darkness. This was another game. It's one of the Atlas games that came out. It's kind of rare now. It's like $100 piece. But this game was a fucking pain in the ass. Alright. I gave up on this game because once you get to, like, this game pretty much talks about almost like Castle Wolfenstein type of like theories, where like it talks about how like, you know, Hitler fucking was like a vampire or some shit like that, or like he had a undead army and shit. So you kind of play through that in a tactical game. So storyline was tight, but this game was tough as nails, man. Whoever beat this game, I give you props. This game you had to like, whoo. You had to make sure none of your characters died, man, or else you would just get murdered. Like I said, once you get to Hitler in this game, man, he beats the fuck out of you. Anyways, I don't know why I even picked up this Tom Clancy's Hawks. Everyone just, I don't know, saying how good it was. I didn't even like Ace Combat and all those games, but I still played it, man. But I couldn't really get into it. Ultimate Alliance, man. I think I beat the shit out of this with a homie. But it was good, man. Took a lot of time to get this Thou, but it was cool. Good ass game. Now I got the gold edition, so technically I can go through all the DLC now, but fuck. Now this game is super dated, so I don't know how I feel about it. Dead Rising, man. Everyone knows this is one of the hardest games 1000%, man. But I did. Man, it was during a time I wasn't working. I left my job, and this is one of the games that I got for hella cheap, so I just picked it up and played and beat the fuck out of it. But Dead Rising is a solid ass game, man. And this is considered like a launch title. For it to be a launch title, this game still holds up, man. Good ass game. Shoot. It's just funny how like Capcom decided to just make a random ass like zombie game, you know, based in a mall, kind of like Dawn of the Dead. Soul Calibur 4, I don't know. This game, when it came out, like, you know, they put all the Star Wars characters and shit up in there. It was an alright game, but it just felt different from like the other Soul Caliburs. But I do like the customizations in the game. That was tight. But yeah, beat the shit out of that. But Darkness, man. Darkness I got like way back when. It was just sitting on a shelf forever before I started to play. This game was tight, man. I had to like boost this game to get 1,000 because you have to get the multiplayer kills. But I still haven't played the part 2 yet, even though I picked it up. But the Darkness was a good ass game, man. It was hella solid. I wish they made a part 3. So this is like, I don't know, this game gave me like Max Payne vibes because, you know, it's kind of dark. It has a dark story. It's like kind of mafia based, and you know, your family gets killed or whatever, or your girlfriend gets killed or whatever. So you're kind of getting revenge, kind of Max Payne style. So it's a cool ass game, man. Wolverine. This game was around time 09. Probably summer 09 was working Game Crazy. But it was cool. Like, this was like the first rated M like Marvel type of games that came out. So like you got to like kill motherfuckers in the game, and hella blood came out and stuff. So I'd say this is better than watching the movie, man. This game was solid. This was like, man, people try to compare this game to Ninja Gaiden. I mean, you can't compare it to Ninja Gaiden, but it was good for like a American-made like hack 'em slash type of, you know, game, fast-paced hack 'em slash game. It was tight. And then as you like, you know, level up, you got to like upgrade your character, make them stronger, etc., etc. So it had like good, like it had a good progress to the game. So I enjoyed the hell out of that. Raiden was this game is a bullshit ass game, man. This game will take the life out of you. But I don't know, I picked it up way back when GameStop. I don't know, I think I played it with a homie, but this was fucking brutal, man. Anytime you gotta play these shoot 'em up games, man, fuck. Nah, man, I don't recommend it. But it's a short game though. It's not that long. It's just like a random. It's like, was it 2D? It felt like it was 2D still, but with better graphics. But yeah. Let's see. Wheelman. That was a game around the time when Chronicles of Riddick came out, and then, you know, Vin Diesel had his own studio, like called Tygon Studios. So he started making a couple games. Wheelman was one of them. But Wheelman didn't do good at all. But I wanted to play it just because it was Vin Diesel. But I don't know, man. The game felt like playing Getaway or something like that. Because you're in Barcelona in that game. But one of these days, I'll probably just go and beat it. But I don't know. It was a flop. It wasn't that good. Like, this guy is like, his character is like fucking, he's like 250 pounds, right? And you mean to tell me he's like jumping into cars and, you know, like doing all this like parkour crazy shit? Like, you can't believe Vin Diesel would be doing that crazy shit, man, at that like weight, you know. Anyways, Hitman Blood Money, man. This was a bitch to get a foul for. Especially on the like professional mode where you gotta like just get your suit back after killing everybody and stealthing all their asses. But I did it just because I know somebody else did. But it was a solid game, man, because this came out for like PS2 and all that stuff. But then later, you know, they ported it over to like, I would say either they ported or it came out at the same time, I remember. But you know, this was the better version to play because the graphics were better and all that shit. But Blood Money was tight. But not much I can say about it. I'm not the biggest Hitman fan, so I never really played a lot of them. Mercenaries 2, man, I had enjoyed this game a lot because it was co-op. So I played this with the homie and all that shit. But it was, to get 1,000 was a bitch. Like, you had to like go destroy all the targets and get all the fucking HPV people, whatever the hell you call it. You know, the special like VIP folks. That was work, man. But as a multiplayer game, it was glitchy. It was a glitchy game, but it was fun. And the dialogue in this game is hilarious. So it's a shame they never made a Mercenaries 3. Don't even ask me about Guitar Hero, man. Shoot, I think I got this other one that I like got the. I don't know if I got 1,000 on, nothing like that, but you know, there was a time like everyone was playing Guitar Hero. It just came out that time, and it was like the biggest thing. Let's see. EDF, man. This is a fucked up 1,000 to get. This requires like time, dude. Like just playing it the same levels over and over and over and over again until you get the good weapon because it's so random. So you could beat the next levels and then beat the harder difficulties to get all the other weapons and shit. There's a grind. There's only 6 fucking achievements. There's the hardest 6 achievements you ever get in your life. Other than that, the game is tight. The game is a good multiplayer co-op game. I didn't want to try it on the next ones that came out. Tales of Vesperia, man. This would have to be another one of the best RPGs to have come out on 360. It's a Tales series. This was actually one of my entries to the Tales games because I never really got to play like a lot of other ones like that. But it was fun, man. This was a good ass game. I enjoyed it. Because you know it plays similar to Star Ocean and I do like that type of combat. And you know, storyline was fun, man. It was cool. Characters were cool. Halo, this is probably one of the first games I bought for 360, man. Not really like the third game then, whatever. But you know, of course, who didn't play the shit out of Halo, man? Beat it on Legendary. Tried to get the achievement points on this, but I just ain't good enough to play Halo at that time. Crackdown was a son of a bitch of a game because you have to get you have to like try to get everything in this game. But it was cool. My brother was the main person that played this game, and I just mopped up the rest. But it was cool during the time. I like the fact like every time you got like one of those orbs, you got to jump higher. So that was cool. So like it kind of like forced you to like try to get all the collectibles so you could get better in the game. Gears of War 2 was a boatload of fun, man. Shoot, this came out during Game Crazy days. No, GameStop days, man. 09, yup. Man, me and the coworkers, we played the hell out of Gears of War 2. It was just, man, it was solid. It was a solid ass game. Shoot. Everyone was like, you know, when Dom died, it was like, fuck, you know. That was fucked up. Like they had a lot of character deaths in this game that you just felt for. But it was a good ass game, man. Solid. And then playing the horde mode with the homies, hella fun. Anyways, Tekken 6 that came out around the time. So me and the boys played the hell out of this. I'm not the best Tekken's player, but at least achievements in this game was easy. So, you know, you just had to like do a bunch of stuff. Beat the game like a million times. Do a couple online achievements, I think. Tekken 6 was tight. Tekken 7 was alright too, but Tekken 6 was tight, man. Like nobody expected another Tekken game to come out and just came out. And I guess they had to, man, because Street Fighter 4 came out that same year. So they had to like compete, man. Blue Dragon was a game I really wanted to play because this was like the next game that came out after Lost Odyssey. But I don't know, man. it was hard to get into an RPG game at the time. During that time for me, because I was always out and doing something, just out and about. But Gears of War came out. Like Gears of War was one of the games me and my cousin went like half or something on, and we like got it from GameStop, and then we beat it on co-op, and then before the 7 days or whatever you could return it, so we returned it, and at that time Lost Planet had came out, and I guess that was a pretty big thing for the Japanese. So Lost Planet had came out, and during that time Jun Takeuchi, which was like, he was responsible for a lot of Capcom games, like I think some of the Mega Man games, Devil May Cry, even like some of the Resident Evil games was like produced by him. So he was there doing a signing, so I was like, we gotta get this, So my copy of Lost Planet actually is signed by the guy, but we got it after we returned the Gears of War game. So, but like the game wasn't all that though. Like we kind of regret getting it, but whatever. At least we got the support, and the dude was there, got a poster signed and all that stuff. I don't know where the poster went, but yeah, it was back then. Call of Duty 3. I had to pick up a bunch of these games for hella cheap back then, so I was like, you know what, let's beat it. Call of Duty 3 was probably the shittiest game out of the Call of Duty series. It was just garbage. That's because, it was Treyarch or something like that made this one, right? I think by the time when Treyarch was making shit, like they weren't that good. So like a lot of people were kind of skeptical about when World at War came out. So it wasn't as solid of a shooter. Man, this game used to always crack me up. This game was an easy ass like achievement. Like you just gotta beat this game in hard mode. That's it. But it was hella glitchy, man. This game was so glitchy that the Terminators could like backhand you from 20 feet away. And if they did the backhand move, you instantly died. It was hella dumb. It was funny. It was comical, but yeah, it was alright though. That was kind of capitalized on this because the movie had came out. So, yeah. Tomb Raider Legend was cool. A lot of people enjoyed this Tomb Raider game because, after the Angel of Darkness or whatever came out and everyone was hating on it, everyone thought it was a piece of shit. So this came and redeemed itself from that. So I beat that. That was an easy 1,000. I never got the DLC, so I never got to finish that. And it's like 40 minutes in. I don't know how long I'm do this. Maybe I get to an hour, I'm done. CSI, man. Some of y'all gonna question me why I played this game, but I played it for the easy achievements. All you had to do is beat the game. But yeah, so I was caught in between, just trying to get some achievement points and playing games at the same time. So you'll see a lot of that. I don't know why, but Need for Speed Most Wanted, man. I actually got this game like 07, and how I got it was like, when you're at Game Crazy back then, if a game wasn't in the system, man, it's technically yours. So some employees would either use it and trade it in as credit, or some people would keep it. So it wasn't in the system, I kept it. And then, I was trying to beat it. And I was supposed to just beat the whole game, get 1,000, but, it was taking me a minute. And during that time, like, Red Rings of Death and all that shit had, like, just people were getting it like crazy, man. And so, I had the white Xbox that my cousin got me. I was like, fuck, this shit better not get the Red Ring of Death. And during that time, the Xbox Elite had came out. So I had sold the that Xbox to a homie, plus like a few games, including Most Wanted and shit. So I think he bought it for me for like, I don't know, 300 or something like that, with all the games. And then I used the 300 and I purchased the Xbox Elite, which came out for like 450 or something like that. It has 120 gig hard drive, so I just shelled out the extra 150, so I upgraded. I had that forever. So Most Wanted was one of my favorite Need for Speeds, though. I liked it. Now Wars of Orochi came out. I know I had left Game Crazy before I beat this game. If I remember correctly, I was at Game Crazy, one of the Game Crazies, and I opened up the case and I found this game sitting in the case. So I kept that shit. That was after I was working there though. So like this game, I played the shit out of. It was cool. It's a grind. Ninja Blade is a game I actually want to get back and play, even though it's like supposed to be a shitty game. But it was like a Ninja God of War, man. You know, it wasn't no Ninja Gaiden, man. It was a From Software game, but it was still tight. Like I like my Ninja games, man. So it was all right. It wasn't bad of a game. It wasn't that bad, like some people say, but it had a lot of QTEs that annoyed a lot of people. I don't know if I beat the game or not, but I do want to get this game back, man. But it has a generic. It doesn't even have a freaking cover. That's the weird thing about it. Nobody even knows about this game. Prey was a good ass game. I don't know what happened with the other one, but Prey, man, for it to be like one of the first games that came out, this to this day still is a good ass game. If y'all haven't played Prey, man, play the shit out of this. Cause I know I beat the shit out of this. Then later, like I had the homies from work, we boosted this game for like hours to get all the online achievements. That's what we did back in the days. You boost to get the online achievements, man. So did that shit. But you know, if y'all never played that game, just play it, man. I don't want to ruin it for you. It's a good game, man. If you can overlook some of the graphics and shit, like this game's story and all that shits on a lot of other people's games nowadays. Ultimate Alliance 2, I never got to beat it, but I was co-oping this with the homie, because he was one that wanted me to play with him, so, you know, I got that shit. That was alright. It wasn't the best, but it was cool. I feel like the characters are a lot weaker in this game than Ultimate Alliance 1, but I don't know, maybe that's just me. Dynasty Warriors, man, you know how I am. When I had the patience, I would just beat the fuck out of all these Dynasty Warriors games. Zoids Assault was another one of those Atlas games that came out. It was like a mech strategy game. You just gotta beat the game in this game and get it down. But the game wasn't easy, man. Shoot, the game was tough. Anyways, I don't know why I was trying to get some of these Guitar Hero fucking achievements, but I would play the shit out of some of these. Well, this is the free one. It was damn near giving this away for free with the freaking guitar. So I was like, whatever. So I just play the shit out of it. Like, as an Aerosmith out of all the other ones, why did I try to beat the shit out of this one? I don't know. Whatever. Command & Conquer was one of my proud moments I beat for my thousands, though. This game was tight, man. Like, I didn't even know, like, I didn't even really, like, play Command & Conquer because I was a StarCraft guy. But my homie got us into this game. I'm not sure if this one had co-op or not. But I know Kane's Wrath did. But I beat the shit out of both of them, man. So it takes time to get the achievements on these games. But getting the thou on this one was rewarding, man. Let me look at this shit up. Look, you have to play multiplayer for like fucking 100 hours, no life and shit, man. How the fuck did I even do that? I know this kid we were playing, this kid was whipping our fucking ass. Like, this kid was fucking us up. And he was laughing at us, but, you know. I don't know, man. You had to play a lot. I think we might have even boosted that shit. But let's see. Probably left the game on for like a few hours or some shit like that to pass time. Prototype was another game that I was like, man, got this game around summer of 09. Played the shit out of this game. This is tight, man. I do want to get back to part 2. If I haven't played Prototype, this was like Spider-Man on steroids. This was the closest thing to playing as Venom or Carnage. Because they never made a game on these guys like that. They have, but not like to this degree. So it was built off of the Spider-Man engine. And it was a cool game, man. Final Fantasy 13. This is probably one of the easiest Final Fantasy games I ever played in my life. Because it was so linear, man. But I would like to say this is 2010. Let me see. Yep, 2010, March. So, yeah, I got this game for like a good ass deal on like Craigslist. So, I beat it and I sold it for like either the same price or more than I got it for. It was funny. Got that 100 on that. It's a 3-disc game, but it like was hella linear, man. So, I don't know how I feel about it. And then I don't know why they always do that. They fucking made like X2 Final Fantasy 13, 2, and 3 or whatever. Like, why you always pick the weakest Final Fantasy to make the second part for, man? They always do that dumb shit. But whatever, man. Look, Blue Dragon showed up again. What the fuck? Hella glitched. That's why I gotta stop clicking into it, because, man, they're fucking up my shit. But Bioshock, man, I hella enjoyed Bioshock, dude. Shoot, everyone was talking about how good Bioshock was. Ugh, this shit just got all jacked up. Whatever, man. I gotta stop clicking into it because it's messing me up. I already talked about Lost Planet anyways. It was alright. Got the foul. That was hella work. Has hella multiplayer fucking achievements. Dante's Inferno, as I said before, I fucking played this shit before it even came out as a beta because I tested this game. So this is good, man. Visceral Games, they're solid. Like, it's kind of like a fucking bootleg God of War, but it was tight. It's a good ass game. Anyways, Mass Effect is a good ass game too, but I just never got to beat it, man. I think what happened was I had both Bioshock and Mass Effect, right? And somebody wanted to trade me because I had gotten the Mass Effect for damn near free at the Microsoft store, because like when you worked at GameStop back then, you could join this expert zone thing and you could get like games for cheap, sometimes even for free and shit. So I got the Mass Effect for free or hella cheap or whatever, and then I had either Bioshock 2. Yeah, it had to be Bioshock 2. So I had those two games, man, and somebody was like, I would trade Final Fantasy 13 for Bioshock 2 and Mass Effect. So I made the trade, right? And after that, I ended up selling after I beat this one, selling it. So that's how I was like flipping my games back then, man. That's how you play games for free, or like close to nothing. Mass Effect was cool, but I never got to beat it, man. BioWare, can't go wrong with that. Shit, man. Anyways, I'm almost at an hour, but mouth's getting dry from all this shit. Anyways, Bioshock was such a good ass game. This game kind of came out of nowhere, but like it's just whew. Who didn't like Bioshock? It was different, man. It's one of the most different games at the time. Bioshock 2 came out, you're like, damn, just when you didn't think it could get any better. Bioshock 2 was just as good, man. I didn't go for the multiplayer achievement, so I left it at 900. GameStop Days 09, this came out. So all you had to do is beat all the mini games and shit, and you would get the 1,000. So I got that just for that. It was alright. Assassin's Creed was a bitch. Had to do a lot of dumb shit to get the 1,000 on this one, like find all the freaking like spots to, you know, lookout places and collect all the dumb stuff. But you know, it was the first of its kind, so I beat it. I never got into the Assassin's Creed series like that. Like, I am looking forward to the Ninja one that they want to make like later on, just because it's different. But otherwise, it's such a cookie cutter game. Like, how many times can you do the same shit? I thought Black Flag was cool because it was a little different because you're like a pirate. But that's the only other ones I really played. Left 4 Dead was hella hard. Took me forever to get all the achievements in this game. Well, I didn't get it all because there's 500 more now. Shoot, I want to get those now. Left 4 Dead, man. I'm so disappointed at Back 4 Blood. Left 4 Dead games are still the better games. But you already know. The game was hella good, man. We used to play the fuck out of this game with the homies. We would all just, man, it's just fucking when you got hella far and you died, you're like, fuck, dude, we got hella far. This game didn't give a damn about your feelings. Good ass game. But yeah, this is 08 and 09 era. So, thanks fucking I love Project Gotham, man. I played the fuck out of these games. These games were so cheap back then. But all you had to do is just it's like Forza. There's a Forza before Forza came out, so all it took you was just race and race and race and race to get these fucking achievements. Command and Conquer Red Alert 3 was cool. A lot of people didn't like it, but I thought the storyline was fucking great for this game, man. This game was like literally you had to what was it? The storyline was basically like what happened if Japanese fucking won the war, right? If the Japanese had won the freaking war, then you know they would have like Gundams and shit. Like it would be hella hard to beat them, and that's exactly what happened. So everyone had to team up on the freaking Japanese to like, you know, beat them because their technology was like hella fucking good. So it was a good game, man. I liked it, and it was co-op too. So you know, me and the homie co-op the whole game, and I just mopped up the rest of the achievements, which was a bitch. Whew! I'm glad I don't fucking go for the achievements like that. And then where we at? Turtles in Time. The homie at work was like, "We gotta get this Turtles in Time, man." So we played the shit out of this game, beat the hell out of it. It was pretty easy to get the 200 on that. But yeah, it was cool. It wasn't the same as the OG one, but it was cool. Anyways, so I'll do like one last. I'll do these two. Mini Ninjas was alright. It's just a ninja game, so I got it. It was pretty basic. It wasn't nothing hard about the game. It was just like a random platformer, if you ask me. It was alright. It wasn't a bad game. So, kind of want to get it in my collection though. And then there was 50 Cent. Blood on the Sand. Man, this game was cool, man. It's a solid game. I'm mad that I don't own this game because it's like hella rare now because they took it off the fucking live. But it was a cool co-op game. I think it was like what? It was 2 or 4 players. I don't remember. We have to play like all. You have to play as all like the G-Unit squad and shit like that. It was a solid game, man. It kind of played like Gears of War. So, but yeah. So I guess, you know, I'm gonna end it there because it's close to an hour. An hour just talking about games that I played and what I feel about them and shit. But yeah, this was during our GameStop days as well. So we just played the fuck out of this game, beat it, and then I ended up returning it. But it was cool because they had like a soundtrack that they made for this game, man. So it was like, damn, you know, like of all games, like you wouldn't have thought like this game would be that cool. Given the fact like they made the 50 Cent game back in the days, you know, for OG Xbox and PS2. Like out of nowhere they decided we're gonna make a sequel. Like, you know, who would have thought of that? But it was interesting, man. It was cool. They were like all up in the Middle East and shit. It was like over the top. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna leave it at. And all this was during like, you know, the 2009 era. From 2007 to 2009 was around this time. So yeah, kind of new part series. There's a bunch of games that I gotta go through. So 1 hour, man. This has to be a multi-part. But man, I don't know. Tell me what you think about it, man. Some of you guys probably not gonna watch it. The ones that made it all the way, you know, you guys are like my number ones, man. So yeah, that's all I got for you. I'll see you on the next video. It's your boy, Cognac, signing out.